This guy is the OG. So I got into MOBAs. The reason I'm working on League of Legends is because Rikimaru exists. No joke, no joke. For those of you who don't know, Ricky just has perma-stealth. Like, his ultimate is you are permanently stealthed. That's just it. And then when you attack, obviously you come out of stealth. Freaking love this guy. Played a ton of Ricky. So anyways, if you're wondering why VIEGO is so bullshit, it can directly be traced back to Rikimaru existing. What are some of your favorite characters from other MOBAs besides League? Well, let's go take a look at Dota 2. We'll start with that. Dota 2, heroes. Who are my faves? I freaking love Anti-Mage. This guy's amazing. Anti-Mage has Kassadin Blink and he has Mana Burn. He's a complete jerk. This dude shows up on top of you, he whacks you a few times, makes it so you can't cast spells, and then like clones himself and kills you. It's great. Love him. I really like Crystal Maiden. I know, like, you're all gonna get mad when I say this, but Arcane Aura is one of my favorite abilities in gaming. Look at this. Gives additional mana regen to all friendly units on the map. Oh, so good. I play Crystal Maiden, I rank this up at level 1, and I'm like, yup, my mid lane won't go I'm one of those players. I freaking love global auras, and this is one of my favorite global auras. I really like Crystal Maiden. She's super fun. Who else? Pudge. Pudge, I think, is one of the best designed characters in all of MOBAs. I do mean all of MOBAs. I mean across League, across Dota, across everything else. Pudge is the GOAT, the OG. Meat Hook is the spell. This is Blitzcrank Hook. Although, honestly, to be real, Blitzcrank Hook is Meat Hook. This came first. This character is just the coolest. He's so cool. Love this spell. Every single MOBA has it now that Pudge made it. It's a dub. Love that guy. This guy is the OG. So I got into MOBAs. The reason I'm working on League of Legends is because Rikimaru exists. No joke, no joke. Here's the progression of August playing MOBAs. I used to think MOBAs were lame. I saw my friends playing Dota, and I would like, you're all lame, and also Dota players are mean. And then eventually one of my friends got me into an in-house and put me on Ricky. And I got his perma-stealth, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I love this. And for those of you who don't know, Ricky just has perma-stealth. Like, his ultimate is you are permanently stealthed. That's just it. And then when you attack, obviously you come out of stealth. Freaking love this guy. Played a ton of Ricky. And eventually, that got me into Dota. And so eventually, I started trying to play outside of in-houses. And everybody, like, just verbally abused me and treated me like absolute trash. And so, no joke, I went onto Google and I searched for games like Dota, but the people aren't as mean. And I found League of Legends. And then I started playing League of Legends and I absolutely adored it. And, you know, when I graduated from college, I applied to Riot. So anyways, if you're wondering why VIEGO is so bullshit, it can directly be traced back to Rikimaru existing. So this guy's great. I love him. And then also, I guess the last one I'll throw out from Dota that I really like. There's a lot of great designs in Dota, of course, but I really like Nerubian Weaver. I think Shikuchi is an incredible spell. So how Nerubian Weaver works is they have this spell called Shikuchi where you run around invisible and you're really fast and you damage people you move through. And then you come out and you attack people, and then your ultimate is you rewind time and go back in time. He's a lot of fun. Weaver's really cool. League is way more mean than Dota. If you think that, you never played Dota 1. Dota 2, I could buy it. I could buy that, like, Dota 2 is, like, less toxic than League of Legends. Dota 1, that community was so mean. Like they were offended that I existed as a player. They were like, how dare you play Dota? You newbie, get out of here. It was pretty nasty. Dota 1 didn't have matchmaking, so, like, it was really easy for noobs to ruin good players' games, which is what I would do because I was a noob. So I'd go in and I'd ruin the good players' games because I obviously didn't know what I was doing. Dota 1 was really, really mean. And that said, Dota 2, I agree. Dota 2's chill. Dota 2 was chill. I really enjoy playing Dota 2. But Dota 1 is the game I started playing and then chased me off. So yeah, that's Dota. Let's see, what are HOTS? There's a couple characters in HOTS I love. Who are they? Let me see if I can remember. I think Abathur is really, really cool. Fun fact for all of you, you might not think this, but Abathur was one of the inspirations for YUUMI. YUUMI has many inspirations from many different places, but one of the inspirations for YUUMI was Abathur, this character that, like, you know, isn't really present and attaches to people. The other one I really love in this game is, where are they? Y'all gonna hate me. This guy. Murky. Murky is hilarious. Oh my god, I love this guy. Murky he's him. Where is he? Look at this. Look at him. So for those of you who don't know what Murky does, Murky puts down an egg, okay? And as long as that egg survives, you can't kill Murky. He'll just respawn at the egg. So you put your egg down, and then you just run at the enemy and just die repeatedly and beat the crap out of them and just be the most annoying thing you can imagine, and then you keep respawning at your egg. It's hilarious. I freaking loved playing Murky. So those are some of my my favorite designs from other MOBAs, I would say. Chronopolis asks, I'm a decently high elo Enchanter enjoyer, and I constantly struggle with the thought that I must draft a frontline when the team lacks a frontline, but I do not enjoy it. Do you think there's a ranged support champion with a frontline presence of an engaged tank could ever exist in League's support role? Or would a character like that break too many rules? A character like that does sound like it breaks a lot of rules. Probably the closest to it is Ivern, as you mentioned. Ivern is a ranged support champ that brings a frontline because Ivern has Daisy, right? So there are characters that work like that and can exist in that space. I think a hard part about a ranged champion who offers a frontline is mainly like they probably aren't a real ranged champion. So as an example, you say you like ranged enchanters. I have a feeling you don't like Rakan. Even though Rakan technically is a ranged enchanter who also offers a frontline, right? Like, Rakan has a lot of things he can do at range, he dashes around, and then, you know, but he's also a frontline. And so, one of the hard parts here is, like, yes, we could make ranged champions who offer frontline presence, but one of the costs of doing that probably is it actually just then, by doing that, becomes a character you won't want to play. Because you've described yourself as someone who likes enchanters, right? And that probably means you like sitting back and helping your team and healing people and stuff like that. And the second we make you run into melee range, that probably isn't the character you wanted. Gnar is a bit like this, actually, where Mini Gnar, if you just took Mini Gnar, he's like this fun little annoying Teemo, right? But we force him to go into melee range. And that's not like a bad thing about Gnar, but it does mean that the type of people who would like Gnar, fundamentally, his audience changes. Because it turns out there's a lot of people who you couldn't pay them to go into melee range. There's a reason Lux players just play Lux in every role. And one of the reasons is like you couldn't pay them to play a character that makes them interact with their opponent from on their screen. Right? Like, it speaks to basically player preferences and player archetypes. Dogloop, do you think a Yasuo level mechanical ceiling support will ever be released? I mean, it could be. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Thresh is up there. I don't think he's Yasuo level, but Thresh has an incredibly high ceiling in terms of mechanical skill. He was intended to be that way. Thresh was made to be the Lee Sin of supports, and I think he succeeded fairly well. But agree we don't have necessarily, like, you know, Yasuo level supports there, and I think we could have one. I don't think there's, like, it's out of place. It would probably be something similar in the space to, like, say, Senna or Pyke, where the end result is that they're kind of like a fake support that does like carry-like things, but is designed to do it from the support role, which I don't think is a bad thing. That's pretty fun and pretty cool. I think we could do something like that. I think Pyke is pretty mechanically up there as well. That's another one.